deep the bullet lies. Unaware that I'm tearing you as hate for the ones we love. Tell me we both matter, don't we? You and me. You and me won't be unhappy if I only could make a deal with God, get 'em to swap our places, be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building, if I only could. Get 'em to swap our places, be running up that road, be running up that hill, no problem.
Okay, so here we have your average Joe. They have a body and a brain, neither of which they've decided on. Their sex is determined by their biology. It's known as what's between your legs, whether you be biologically male, female, or even intersex in some cases. Gender, however, is mental. Your gender identity is what you feel you are regardless of your birth sex. For example, male, female, a mix of both. After all, gender is a spectrum, or none at all. A person who is cisgender is a person who identifies the same as their sex. For example, a biological female who feels she is female. However, transgender describes a person who identifies with a gender different to their sex. For example, a biological female who feels she is male. Side note. Because of the spectrum of gender identities, there is a trans umbrella, which includes identities such as transsexual, transgender, genderless, genderqueer, transvestite, agender, or even bigender.
Her name is Josie Romero, and for as long as she can remember, Josie's been trying to break free from a nightmare that few children will ever know. Their story begins in 2001, when Vanessa gave birth to a son, Joey. The family scrapbook doesn't show the problems Joey was having by age 3.
Temper tantrums, awful. Glass shattering, piercing, yelling, crying fits.
What did the doctor say was wrong?
Joey's depressed. Let's give him Prozac.
Prozac.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
We needed medication to help Joey sleep.
Doctors also prescribed medicine for anxiety, ADHD, and Tourette's syndrome. Vanessa didn't see a connection between Joey's obsession with dress-up and his behavioral problems until a routine physical changed everything. They were wrapping up the visit when the doctor noticed the way 6-year-old Joey was playing with his toy.
Joey lifts his shirt and starts breastfeeding the doll, and the doctor said, "I think your child may have gender identity disorder." And I'm like, what? Yeah. And the doctor said, like transgender.
As you may have figured out by now, Joey is Josie, born a boy, but now living as a girl. When you were little, did you feel like you were trapped in the wrong body?
Yeah.
How old do you think you were when you started feeling like that?
when I started to know,
Yeah.
I always knew.
Her son began dressing as a girl at home, but now it wasn't a game.
Joey said, okay, you can't say he anymore. You have to start saying she. So we had to correct our pronouns. That took a little bit more effort.
And that may be where parents watching this go, what's going on over there? You know, the kids ruling the roost. That's where it tips over into something that they don't understand.
That's understandable, because I would have too.
No longer did I have a son, and I had to put all my feelings aside to embrace my daughter.
What I remember is my dad giving me thumbs up, and I felt like I was gonna cry. I was so happy.
After that, they say a profound change happened to their child. No more tantrums, no more sleeplessness, no more medication needed.
When I got my girl name, I felt like everything was done, but apparently not.
Not done, not by a long shot, because by age 9, Josie was filled with anxiety again, this time over something neither her nor her parents could control. Her own growing body.
I'm changing my voice style.
Josie, who had passed easily as a girl for years, was now terrified of her growing body, afraid puberty would soon turn her into a man.
She scrutinizes her image in the mirror every morning when I'm doing her hair. So she looks for facial hair or an Adam's apple. It's a swan's neck. There is no bump there. Nothing else is as important to her as getting her body to match who she is. What are you thinking?
It's getting frustrating.
Do you want a hug?
Josie felt so much anxiety over her changing body that she once tried something drastic.
Did I tell you that I want to get my own surgery? My own self-surgery?
She was in the bathroom, and she's standing in the shower, and she's got her penis in one hand and her nail clippers in another hand. It was like she was building up her determination to go through with doing it. Then I ran in, literally, and grabbed the nail clippers from her hand and squeezed her to me.
I could die or bleed to death.
So now you know better not to do that, right?
I want you to.
I'm just really eager for her to feel at peace. And if she takes estrogen, she'll see her body respond to that, and she'll have that peace.
It is a two-step process. First, drugs called blockers that suspend puberty. In Josie's case, blocking the release of testosterone. Then a more controversial step. She could be given estrogen to make her body develop like an adolescent girl's. They're talking about giving you hormones and doing blockers and all that kind of stuff. Is that something that you want to do?
Yes.
You do? Tell me why.
It's going to make me not have big hands and big feet and get boobs and...
You want boobs? You do?
Yeah.
That's something most people feel like ought to wait until really a child is much older.
Dr. Margaret Moon is a pediatrician and bioethics professor at Johns Hopkins University. She says drugs that delay puberty, blockers, may be helpful in some extreme cases. But that second step, giving opposite-sex hormones, is alarming at Josie's age. The changes are irreversible and include rendering the child sterile as an adult.
Any change you make that's irreversible is harder to justify when the child is young.
To me, it seems ridiculous to have a kid at age 12, 13, 14 deciding whether they want to have biological children when they're 20, 30, or 40. I mean...
Well, they make the decision to kill themselves at 12 and 13. That's a pretty powerful decision. We take an oath. First, do no harm. If doing nothing is doing harm, you have to do something.
Even among the doctors who specialize in treating transgender kids, there is debate about when and whether opposite-sex hormone therapy is okay.
We have lots of very well-informed, very well-intentioned people looking at the same data and coming away with very different ideas.
Is this an overdiagnosis issue?
Potentially. It's potentially an overdiagnosis issue.
But for Vanessa, there was no debate. She felt certain that not only would female hormones help Josie, but forcing her to go through male puberty could be psychologically devastating. Transgender young people are 5 times more likely than their peers to attempt suicide.
Whenever people ask me, how can I just let her do this? I'd rather have a living transgender daughter than a dead son.
Katie, born Luke, had struggled with gender identity ever since she was a toddler.
You know, I had male genitalia, but everything else was feminine. The waist, the butt, the cheekbones, the hair, the eyes, everything. The voice. It was really confusing for me growing up.
At what point did you feel you weren't meant to be Luke?
3 or 4. I remember when I was 4, running into my mom's bedroom and pulling on my, penis saying, I want this off. Whenever I would go to sleep, I would dream myself wearing the white wedding dress with the long flowing hair, the perfect image of me as a woman.
She spent her whole childhood in the corner of her room with the door closed and the lights out.
Everyone hates you and you hate yourself, there's no one on your side, not even you. My first attempt at suicide, I was 7. One time I tried to drown myself in our pool and with center blocks.
A staggering 41% of transgenders will attempt suicide. It was Jaslyn's worst fear.
I think it was just a matter of days.
And you hear your kid in the other room.
I literally just started yelling at him. I know what you're getting ready to do, and I'm not going to allow it. And I said, just tell me you're gay. We'll get through it. We'll figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. He finally just yelled at me that he was transgender, and I just kind of stopped.
Did you have any idea what transgender was at that point?
I guess I thought transgender was transvestite, and I'm just thinking, okay, so you want to wear girls' clothes? I got a whole closet in there. Go. If it will make you happy and it'll keep you alive and it'll make you laugh. I've never seen you laugh in 8 years.
She asked, will this make you happy? Will this make it so I don't have to be afraid of coming home every day and being afraid that I'm going to see you dead on the floor? And I said, yes, this is going to help, Mom. This is it. This is what I need.
And I said, you know what? Just tell me what you want. I will do anything that you want me to. The very first thing out of his mouth was, he says, I want bras and panties. I said, fine. We'll go to Victoria's Secrets tomorrow.
I wanted to change my name. I wanted to get on hormones. I wanted to grow my hair out, be called she, her, Katie, not Lucas.
And I don't care if it takes every ounce of being in my body. I will not stop until everything on that list is done.
And damn, she did it.
Cutest little round cheeks there.
She sat my family down and said, Lucas is now Katie, he is she. If you have a problem with it, there's the door.